Well, hello and welcome and welcome and hello and welcome and greetings and salutations and happy Friday and good evening and welcome and hello. Thank you for tuning in to Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. My twin brother, Danny Deals, called in sick with a wicked case of restless leg syndrome. He could only sleep for 9 hours last night, just didn't look good. So I hopped on our PJ immediately, and I don't mean his sweetheart, Princess Giselle. Of course, I mean our private jet, and I shot on out from McCarran International, got out here, landed in LAX, shot over here to help out my baby brother, Danny Deals. It's Danny Vegas in the house. It's Un Poco Moss, guys. We are talking SOFI stock, ticker symbol SOFI. And if I seem a little fired up, I am, guys. Why am I fired up? It's a great week for the SoFi stock, and a lot of you guys are bitching and moaning. They're holding it at 9. They're holding it at 9. Everybody has this narrative backwards, guys. The shorts were digging in their heels from 740 on down to 680. Okay, some of these morons were shorting lower than that. Yeah, of course, some of them are shorting at 9, some of them are short from 10, some of them are short from 1160, on the previous pump, whatever it is. Some of them probably short old school from like, you know, the days of Moses or whatever. But guys, the fact is, SoFi stock is not showing weakness. Um, the perceived weakness is really it's nothing more than FUD, but it's very sophisticated FUD because you have to construct this narrative over time and try to convince people that though SoFi is showing some promise and that, they're growing their membership, they're growing their margins, they're growing their deposits, they're signing key deals with organizations like the NBA, NFL, SoFi Stadium, things are hitting on all cylinders, and there's only growth in the future. They're still talking like some of these, transient macro trends over the next few months are going to bankrupt the company. I mean, do they not see the cash position? Do they not see the warehouse line position? Do they not see the massive deposits flowing into SoFi every single quarter? Are these guys out of their fucking minds? No, they're not. They're doing it on purpose, guys. They create a false narrative. That's what they do. They're trying to take retail money and transfer it to market makers because retail is impatient, retail is illogical, retail is impulsive, guys. But there is a new sheriff in town. Goes by the name Tony Notes, also goes by the name CLP3, the point guard, distributing the rock. I think as good as Noto's talk with Kathy Wood was, I think Chris LaPointe's talk was even more critical because they made a very pointed, point of a pointed point. I don't think that's a great turn of phrase, but anyway, you guys get it because you guys are very perceptive. You can read between the lines, and when you can't do that, just make up the lines. Um, go ad lib on it. Go Bill O'Reilly, just like um, you know, uh, whatever that is. But anyway, guys, SoFi Technologies up 1 cent, down 2 cents after hours. Just held flat. It did that sort of mountain and hump. The mountain was tiny, and then just the massive dump that it always does, like 5 minutes in. It dumped for exactly 5 minutes. You see how these algos work, guys? It reaches the top here at like 934, and then it bottoms out by 940, and then at exactly 10 it reaches this peak. So the algo was in full command today. It's barely even a shallow bull. It's almost a flat line, with the exception of this one giant candle here at 1122, and then just a couple of buys and sells. They pushed it down under 9 right at the end of the day, just to be kind of spiteful, because shorts are generally dicks. Nobody likes shorts. They're the don't pass better at the craps table. They're that guy, who's just out of control at the wedding. They're just horrible, disagreeable people. All the ones online are pathological liars. Like, I'm shorting it, I'm shorting it. Like, yeah, sure you are. Just throwing that out there. Like, if you read the statistics, very few retail investors are actually short. It's like 5%. So all these yahoos are definitely not shorting stocks, guys. Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello and hello and welcome. Thank you. Muchas gracias a todos for tuning in to Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. Savage of Wall Street. I do not speak that language. What is that? Hebrew? Russian? I don't know. Um, can't pick that one up. Anyway, Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes is in first. Congratulations. You win the big prize. It's Palacio Furniture. Sounds beautiful. I could use a few new pieces. Got Raider Nation in the house. Roland Dubs. Hello and welcome. What's up, Roland Dubs? Beach Boy is not here. That's good to hear. Jake the Snake Roberts in the house. Got that, beautiful mural on his butt with the snake, the tights, the beautiful long hair. M. Russo's here. Colombian Kingpin. Hello and welcome, good sir. Savage of Wall Street. Gonna start buying back my $10 April covered calls. Say that translated over. Hello and welcome, and hello, J Money, not a lurker. I actually put a name to the face. Very funny. Tanner and the boys were doing like a call-in show, and J Money, text me, "Hey, I'm about to go on." I was like, "Oh, awesome!" And then I had this idea what he looked like, and then I saw in it was another guy with his same name, and it was like a young guy who looked like young baby Stephen Wright with this huge beard, and I was like, and then he was like, and I was like, and then the next guy came on. He had the same name. That was actually not a lurker. That was actually J Money. Had some technical difficulties, but it was just great to and some other people too. I was watching that I've never seen. He just put a name with the face. It's quite extraordinary. Unfortunately for you all, this is a visual medium. Though many of you have commented, I have a both a voice and a face made for radio. I want to thank you very much for your criticisms, your comments. I take it all as constructive, even if you're just basically saying I'm ugly. F you. F you too. Um, we'll be back in 2 and 2. Rest in peace, Chuck Woolery. Anyway, guys, want to say hello and welcome to whoever else is here. Mr. Keegan, Lorraine, Keegan Mullins is here. Lorraine, we already said hello to Beach Boy, Savage, Roland Dubs. Anybody else new? If I missed you, it's Costas Besas checking in from Greece. Good to see you, Costas. He sings my name. It's Costas Besas. He's most gracious. He'll make you spanakopita, I hope, because I love spanakopita, but that's neither here nor there. Do not like and sub, whatever you do, guys. I hate you all. What would be the point in supporting me? Because I'm only going to break your heart, guys. I'm only going to break your heart. But it's only a broken heart. Good later Tom Petty album that was underrated. Anyway, guys, yeah, we're not gonna do any merch. We're just anything I do, I'm just gonna give away. It's too much trouble to sell things, and I don't want to keep track of the taxes and the sales tax and all this bullshit. Just don't do this to try to make money. Just kind of blowing off steam and enjoy the SoFi stock. Anyway, guys, let me stop reading this bullshit. Oh, I'm sorry, Costas. There was another Costas who I made a mistake. He was on another my buddy on another forum, another bulletin board for many years, but not Ebesas. But anyway, you're in NYC. Can you still please, someone in your family must be able to make good spanakopita. I know I'm stereotyping and stuff, but I just love Greek food, so it's a weakness. I love all sorts of food, believe it or not. Mexican food, Chinese food. In fact, they used to call me the big lasagna. Anyway, guys, enough about my picadillos, predilections toward fatty foods. Let's talk SoFi, guys. Extremely low volume on the day. I always tell you they control this thing with volume and with borrowing. They had both in high gear. Again, you see the volume indicators being totally, totally flat. The short interest on Ortex has been a little bit iffy lately, and this is kind of rare. Usually they're able to track things and within a day or so get a really accurate estimate of the short interest. But the last couple of updates, the last two 15-day updates from NASDAQ, they've been caught unawares. They've been caught with their pants down, if you will. Did you not hear me? We ain't at liberty to give out no information about our residents. And that's what the exchanges and the turds and the shorts have been saying to Ortex. Like, they are hiding these things quite well, because what we're seeing is shares on loan, short interest, this data is all diverging. And like, Ortex was off by like 8 million shares with the update. They had an estimate like 150 million and it was over 158 million. So that was quite a significant discrepancy. But if you look at today, guys, these fucking weak-kneed, tiny weighing, no account, dime store, hood, country club, golf hustling, Lester Diamond wannabe, um, freaking turds. They borrowed, what they do, they net borrowed 3.41 million shares. And what did the algo do on Thursday? Net borrowed 3.45 million shares. So this chart is almost sharding on itself. That's how accurate it is. And they might cover some shares. Cost to borrow is remaining pretty flat there. I don't really buy that, but um, if you look at what these worthless sacks of shit have done since earnings, it tells the story, guys. Short interest of free float since earnings. That earnings report, I can understand you smell some weakness when you say they're going to cut back on lending and there's uncertainty surrounding the tech side. I mean, the tech side is a bit of a black box. We only know what they're telling us. None of us know what's going on with the proof of concepts. None of us know what's going on with the RFPs, the request for proposals. None of us know if there's actually contracts with wet ink on them that can't be announced. Many people might not want to just announce, hey, Galileo's doing it might be a thing where it's never announced. I mean, that could definitely be the part of some of these software contracts, especially if they're branding it themselves. They don't want another face to their so it doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be like big fanfare, big press release for every single contract they sign. But the point is, CLP3 would not have been out touting it to the chode at UBS. I don't was that Chiodo who was running that thing? I didn't see it visually. I only listened to it. I don't know if there's a video on it, but a lot of this stuff, guys, I tend to multitask and I tend to be working and doing emails and different things, faxes, teletypes, telegrams, Morse code, all that good stuff. I actually send out most of my messages still in Morse code. I just have that old metal one that shocks you. Used to be in many of the train stations. Have that one dude who got all the mail. He's always in those bad Western movies with Bobby D, Robert Duvall, and Kevin Costner on TBS. All kinds of things going on. Who's here, guys? Anybody here? I know it's usually poor attendance on a Friday, and I do apologize, Kostas. I did not realize you weren't in Greece, but again, I just love Greek people, Greek food, the whole thing. Um, I don't know, guys. There's not. I love all people, but Greek people are Greek people are fun, awesome, big hearts, and just great folks all around. But Danny Deals. Like I love pretty much everybody. Just I'm a people person, so that's just who I am. But anyway, guys, back to this short interest. It is what it is, guys. They were desperately hanging on all week. The chart is extraordinarily bullish. I mean, we basically have if this thing was a guitar, it would be a flying V. And look at both of these channels, guys. The orange channel coming down, you see that pivot point here on or about November 21st. Take out the pumps. There's absolutely nothing. After July 11th, there's nothing really breaking through the downside of these trend lines. The algo is completely respecting what it's doing here. And then you got to take out these pumps, guys. You got to just ignore them. It's mechanics doing mechanic stuff, but you see this thing keep trying to break out and actually breaking out to the upside. So while there's absolutely no sellers below the channel for the most part, there are buyers above the channel. And now that we're in an upward channel, things look really good. The bottom was here, guys, November 21. Since then, we broke out above this downward channel, moved into a sort of, I don't know, where would you call this? You could basically call it since the pump. I mean, I would, say basically since the new year for approximately 2 months, even though it may look like this was a big drop. And it was for these 18 days. And I know this was very painful to many people, but um, I'm sorry, that the new year. This was the sorry guys, I'm very confused. Long day. This was earnings here. I'm missing my own chart. This was the bowling ball. The bowling ball had the parrot Michael Perito with KBW. This was the attack. This still, like, I just got confused on the charts. Apologies, but this still doesn't make any sense to me. This stock dropping in like 3 days from 10:30 to 8:30 based on that, giant headed cue balls analysis or his 50-cent reduction, the price target. You had that bookended the last day of the month with Midwest Values, again, doing the exact same downgrade from $7 to $6.50. This is the earnings report. This is where, again, same exact thing, guys. If you see the algo, you see a big pump, one gap down, 2, 3, one gap down. Now there's one extra candle here that's just a cross. It's not going anywhere. But basically, guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if this holds 6 higher lows in a row, it's gonna break out of this channel to the upside. People thinking this is gonna go back to 6, they're gonna buy back in the 5s. I do not see how this company is falling apart. Even if tech growth is not as rapid as we'd like to see, does that mean the company's just gonna fall apart? I mean, tech's contributing 17% of the revenue, whatever, and almost none of the profit. What am I missing? Tech only has upside, and tech is going to realize that upside. Why are they in a major proof of concept with SoFi? That's going to be the last step before signing that deal. And that is going to go on for years and years and years. It's going to take a couple of years minimum just to implement. But as you start, they were talking about, everyone and their mother's been doing, videos on this topic. So I don't want to rehash everything, but basically they think it's Citibank, could be US Bank. But if you talk about how many accounts, Citibank, they're saying over 200 million accounts. I mean, they've already worked with them. Technesis worked with Citibank in Latin America. There's already a relationship. They already know the platform. And I would have to believe that Technesis is rapidly improving too. I mean, they have a lot more resources behind them. Technesis was a relatively small company. But guys, if you just look at this chart, I mean, I'm trying to understand. I mean, $10.11 to me is probably the next major thing we're going to have to break through. I just see a very controlled upward movement. All the downward movements are these extreme, steep gap down, huge red candles, big gap down. Now, in fairness, that's a big gap up there as well. But a lot of the upward trends are steady, organic buying. And guys, look at the aggregate short volume ratio today. I mean, it wasn't huge, but it wasn't small. It's back at 43, right in the pocket. What do you see? The stock is flat. Guys, it's down at 32, 37, stock's going up. It's up above 50, stock's going down, or possibly the stock remains flat. But they're controlling this thing with shorting and volume. That's why there's only 25 million shares traded today. They tell their trading desks, turn off all buying on Friday. We're gotta kill these calls just to salvage some sense of dignity. And guys, this is the whole ball game. This is the fundamental change. Why don't we see the dump? Why didn't the pump and dump work on earnings? Earnings, we started at 750 and we've gone all the way round trip, gone back to 750, but it didn't go anywhere below that. And since then, guys, $9 is not insignificant. That's a 20% increase from where, and I know there was that big artificial dump on New Year's, those next 3 days to get us down to those levels, and that's the trick they pull. I said that so many times back before earnings. I was like, this is the trick they pull. They know if earnings is good, we're going to ultimately go up 20%, but it matters where is the starting line. If they manipulate the starting line and we go up 20% no matter what, ultimately they're controlling that upside. But 13F today, Creekmer Asset Management didn't give us any insight into it's just not filed yet. Effective date was New Year, SoFi Technologies, so that they haven't I don't know if they sold out, or I think that might be a new position. It's just the filing's just coming through. I'm not sure. Sometimes these things take a minute to update. But yesterday, guys, you see Vanguard. Vanguard's like our big brother if we're a little weakling getting bullied. That's the ideal brother, the big brother you want to have. Look at Vanguard Tax Managed Capital Appreciation Fund Admiral shares. Okay, they're coming in just with a nice 435,000. They just increased that by 12%. Average cost $8.69. Absolutely minuscule, 2/100ths of their portfolio. Then you got Gabelli Financial Services Opportunity ETF. Came in just recently at an average price of $7.95 for 32,000 shares. That's actually 3.5% of their entire portfolio. Just a few of these. You can read them yourself. Not that many coming in on the 29th, but still another Vanguard Institutional Total Stock Market Index Fund institutional shares. Their average cost on SoFi on that one is $12.75, which shows you how long they've been in the stock. Their shares are 580,000, and they added 9.15% to their position, which is again absolutely minuscule in terms of their funds. These are index funds, so I think they're averaging in to SoFi in anticipation of SoFi being included in some indexes in the next year or so. I don't think there's any. These aren't like true index funds where they're indexing against a particular index. I don't. It's kind of weird. Somebody was explaining it to me, but not everything that's called an index fund is actually pegged like against an index. It's supposed. It's kind of weird how some of these funds work. I'm not like a big mutual fund guy. I like to pick stocks. I like to have a little bit of fun with it. But then again, Vanguard again, SIMT Large Cap Index Fund Class F. SoFi is not really a large cap, and I don't know. It's kind of weird how these things work, guys. Maybe some of you guys know it more better than me. But their average price is a nice $6.93, 22,000 shares. No change on that one. Vanguard Tax Managed Balanced Fund Admiral shares again. You guys can read these, but last couple days, almost all increases. One decrease there, one there, but a lot more funds increasing their shares than decreasing them. So Max Payne again. When we started out the week, that's not Max Payne. That's SoFi website itself. But Max Payne, when we started out the week, was at $8, and then I think by Wednesday it had moved up to $8.50, and the stock closed at $9. Now, obviously, they killed all these calls at 9. The puts, also died. The puts at 850 obviously were dead, but the puts at 9, I mean, the most they drove it down, I think, was, quarter below 875 or so. I think 877 today. So they couldn't even get it in. You can't really make any money on $9 puts at 877. I mean, you maybe make a few pennies depending where and when you bought them, but it's not going to be anything major. So let's take a look at oh no, I'm sorry. I think I'd already changed that to 3.8. My apologies, guys. Um, let's take a little look-see here. So this is 3-1. Yeah, this was 3-1. So yeah, the calls at 9, a lot of calls, worthless, and the puts were also coming in at 9. Puts at 850, but more puts at 9. So they were trying to make those pay earlier, probably trying to stop people out at 875, but they came up a little short, if you will. Anyway, guys, so let's take a look at next week, and I'll check out some of the comments. Let me say hello and welcome and welcome and hello. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's see, who has joined us here? Flint Creek, good to see you. Yeah, I don't know why I'm rambling about Greek people. I just love Greek people and Greek food. It's kind of off topic. Just Kostas Spazis, just his beautiful name got me going. Give up watching the stock. Will take a long time. Regret buying this. Yeah, I mean, Eric, I feel you. I mean, you bought into FOMO, and you know, I don't like anybody being trapped. I don't like anybody feeling stuck, but just try to learn from it. Like, start building a position. If you're gonna come into a hot stock, come in small, because things almost always pull back. And stocks that are way, way, way pre-profit, November 2021, I mean, we were more than 2 years pre-profit. So you're going to see very, very significant pullbacks in down markets, pre-profit growth stocks. It's just, 2021, we were coming off of that, pandemic high. There was just so much money in the system. Everything that had any type of buzz behind it was just going through the roof. I mean, thank God you didn't buy Neo at 60, or you didn't buy Hylian at 48. I mean, I think you might get back to where you were, but yeah, it might take a year or two. We'll just have to see. But yeah, I appreciate you watching the show, but again, I don't like to see anybody get hurt. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Flint Creek. Hope you have a great one and enjoy the rerun. I was the guy with the beard on before. Oh, cool, Chuck. That's awesome. Look like I said, like a young Stephen Wright with a giant beard. I was like, oh, do you realize? I like Stephen Wright's hilarious. I was watching a thing. It was like just one of those YouTube like mashups, and had some different comedians. But let's see. LOL, I didn't think I was going to actually get on. Forgot everything I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, you were pretty good. Like the one who surprised me. I think after not a lurker, there was like some dude Rex, and he looked like a skater, and he was like talking. He's like, hey, what's up? And then he asked some actually really good questions. So it was funny. Just don't judge a book by their cover. Obviously, nobody would watch my show if people did that. Yeah, no, I noticed in their car had a lag. Yeah, it was good though. It's fun just to have like, just get on, kind of interact. Like that's the point here, guys. I mean, it's not super serial, believe me. This show's not serial. Even the great Tanner and Tevis and all those guys and Steve, like yes, they have serious jobs, or serious people, but this is YouTube after all. It should be a bit of fun in addition to being constructive and providing information. Guys, I got to take off this goddamn visor. Danny Vegas. I'm like Superman. It's not Danny Vegas or whoever the fuck. It's Danny Deals. It's a sweaty, confused Danny Deals. Anyway, guys, Jake the Snake is here. Someone could, yeah, Tony Hawk. That's exactly what I was thinking. To the letter, Jake the Snake. Thank you. Fly High 808. Swear I saw Catfish. Tyler stream. I love Catfish. I got to do a stream with that guy. He's hilarious. His songs are great. I'm just not a day trader, guys. Like he's a serious. Like he's playing the swings, and yeah, I day traded for a little bit, and I just can't do it. It's just too much. It's just way too intense. You have to watch, way too closely. I lack the focus, the patience, and all the other qualities that would make one successful at such a pursuit. But the vast majority of people who day trade actually lose money. There are some people who are really good at it who can do it, but most of us can't. That's SOFI, ticker symbol SOFI, one of the most delicious fintechs out there. 0 calories, lots of lead, chlorine, and different things coming in from these 100-year-old pipes. But guys, tap water, it's a roll of the dice. And Danny Vegas, Danny Deals, whoever he likes to gamble. So next week, guys, Max Payne once again listed at $8.50. You see the open interest, 9 on the calls, and there's a lot of puts open interest. Now you have to think, when you get past earnings, a lot of people they close out these positions, or these positions become dead money. So when you see these outliers that are like several standards of deviation away from the don't worry about it. Look more at the volume here. So you see lot of volume coming in for the $9 calls next week. Again, I do not really like to see that. If you are stupid enough to buy those calls, get out of them on Monday or Tuesday. Don't hold them. By Wednesday, you're going to be trapped. They're not going to pay. I mean, I don't like to tell people to even buy that shit, but I got back into calls this week. I just got lucky. I bought $8 calls, and I made like 240% on the first half of them, and the last half I made 190% or something. So that was in a few days, but really, guys, take the profits. It's very tempting to see a big profit on your screen, like on Tuesday morning. You say, I'm up 200% on these calls, and then you're like, oh my God, but I could make 300%. Don't get greedy. When you have a big profit in front of you, take the profit. If it goes up more, so what? There's always more upside. What's important is what you did, what you put in your pocket, you know? Don't worry so much about other people. Don't worry so much about missing out. Don't worry so much about what you don't have. A bird in the hand, dude. A bird in the hand, as Walter Sobchak said. Anyway, guys, not really sure what else I had to cover. I don't think there were. Yeah, Giuliano Bologna. Oh no, this is an old forecast. Let me see. Let me update this turd. See if anybody. No new ratings out. Yeah, Compass Point. What did he reiterate? Initiated? I don't know what the hell this is. I guess he came out and I don't know. I think something's wrong with this site. It's not updating. But anyway, no. I guess bologna sandwich reiterated at $4 in a sell. Oh, big deal. Who gives a shit about the bologna sandwich? Why SoFi Technologies stock is not expensive today? I don't know. Do you guys want to look at this stupid article? I could probably go take a walk or do something constructive. But let's see if there's just any news on Ortex just for the hell of it. Yeah, so what dip? New holding stock continues to rise after earnings miss. SoftBank and WeWork, SoFi Technologies holdings trimmed. VC billionaire Marcelo Clare is all in on AI. I don't know what the hell any of this has to do with SoFi. This doesn't seem to Kathy Wood can't stop buying SoFi stock. Should you buy it too? And notice what they did with the volume, guys, to hold this thing at 9. That's why I say they control the stock through volume and borrowing. So 4 days ago, we're at 67 million shares, 42 million, 29 million, and then finally 26 million, which is just absolutely meager. So I don't know what can you say has happened here. I mean, it's not extremely complicated. I would say what's happened. It's, I would, in my opinion, the shorts were wrong about the ER again, and their solution has been rather than cover some of their position, at least at a loss. I think they're hedging with long shares, trying to hedge to the upside, but basically just reshorting the stock. I mean, and you're reshorting it and it's still in an uptrend, and you're controlling volume and it's still in an uptrend. I mean, there is a lot of strength behind this stock, and the reason is because institutional buyers are buying the stock every single day. And those filings are coming out. I think when the quarterly filings come out that show Q1, they're going to see institutional ownership up dramatically, at least into the mid 40s by the time things are said and done. Um, and I think it will be mid-year before the, around mid-year, whatever, sometime in Q3, and this thing will be over 50% institutional ownership, up from, 35, 36. So this is critical. This is what stabilizes the price. And, people are like, well, why do institutions coming in? Why is Aunt Kathy so scary for the shorts? Think about it, guys. I mean, if she's buying the hell out of the stock between 8 and 9, what's she going to do if they push the stock down into the sixes? She loves to buy those dips on these great companies, just like we do. But the difference is her fund has hundreds of millions of dollars in firepower. What about our big brother Vanguard? They have billions of dollars. If they do something stupid, they obviously love the stock. And, BlackRock, same thing. State Street, same thing. There's plenty of institutions that have unlimited bankroll to buy this company up. And with the way this company's executing, these institutional longs aren't stupid. If they drive the stock below 7 to cover their short from 680, they're going to get their pocket picked again. And it's going to cost them a ton just to drive it down there. And that's because fundamentals matter. Fundamentals. The fundamentals, Bobby. The great ones like Starbucks. He's like, you want a haircut, Mr. Hill? He's like, you want the Starbuck or the young Starbucks? Like, stop kidding around, Jake. Like, guys, my dream is to sell propane and propane accessories for the great ones. One of the greats, Buck Strickland. I learned everything I know about propane, stocks, and life from the great Buck Strickland. Um, Down in Arlen, Texas. Mark, do not hit the up button, whatever you do. Yeah, JAGX. Yeah, company's common stock closing bid of 10 or less. Yeah. Yes, I'm well aware. But what happened? Yes, they were granted the appeal. Mark, how this works? Companies are not delisted all that often. I know there's threats, they have to do reverse splits, these things happen, but companies are not delisted all that often. There's maneuvers, there's appeals, they could drag this thing out for another year. The thing about JAGX is they are going to get that FDA approval for the cancer indication. Don't forget, Mytesi has already been approved by the FDA since 2012 for the HIV indications. Just very, very few sales because, thank God, HIV treatments have gotten so good that they're able to give people like one pill a day and keep their viral count at 0. So people don't have the side effects that they used to have from HIV. And when you think about it, they got FDA approval 2012. That's, sort of right around the time the drugs were getting very, very good. So it kind of, their market, thank God, like disappeared because people weren't suffering all the side effects of the, HIV treatments that maybe they were back in like 10, 20, 10, 15 years prior. So that's a great thing. Anyway, guys, I don't mean to go off on JAGX, but I think all that's going to resolve itself because, they said data's coming out Q1. They're definitely going to be able to stall much longer than that. I mean, the reverse split and the massive dilution and horrible financing deals with, you know, Fife, that sack of. But anyway, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the 10-cent deal. That's the least of their worries. They have 50 other problems that are far more pressing. Anyway, but yeah, the stock went up 50% today, Mark. So that's a good start. But obviously, 8 cents is not 10 cents. But I think the stock will probably be over 10 cents within the next couple of days here. $4 million valuation on the potential of this drug for cancer treatments is billions of dollars a year. I mean, I think it was Bill Gates Foundation who said this could be the most widely used substance on earth because people suffer from diarrhea through all kinds of reasons. Pardon me. I need some ribbit. I have a frog in my throat. Delicious. 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 Drink it in, folks. Drink it in. SoFi Stadium. Ticker symbol SOFI. But I had a couple of other things I wanted to get here. Yeah, Mark, don't take everything so literally. These filings are meant to scare people and drive them off the stock. That's market makers use that. Don't pay attention to anything. That's the best way to invest. Just don't pay attention to anything. Don't get scared. Don't get worried. Um, most of the stuff is just FUD. It's not. It doesn't matter. There's still a market cap. The stock's still worth what it's worth, even if it's delisted. It doesn't matter. It's basically a pink sheet bullshit toilet paper penny stock, and it has been, for years. So I wouldn't worry all that much about the integrity of JAGX because it doesn't have any. L train ride away from Steve. Yeah, a lot of you guys out in NYC, huh? I'd love to visit out there very, very soon. The financial hub of America, or at least it once was. 80 people watching. God, get a life, guys. Like Chris Elliott, don't you guys have anything to do? Go get a paper out and live with your parents. Yes, I stay away NYC. Good morning from Chengdu, China. Good morning, Dude Ass Face. Good to see you. LOL, Oprah's Wet Cave. It is musty in here. I am here with Stedman having a cup of very strong black coffee. He's trying to have a movement. He's unable to. I believe he's been stuck in Oprah's Wet Cave for about 30 years now. He's been trying to get out, but it's sticky in there. It's sticky. Um, no offense, Oprah. We love you. Even though you're kind of a big phony grifter. Anyway, no, I don't know. Everybody loves Oprah, right? I don't really get it, but anyway, when you're kind of alone with the kids, a housewife, and your kids are screaming in the middle of the day, I think you'll pretty much watch anything. Anyway, thanks, Mark. I appreciate you watching. Glad to comment, guys. I want to make some penny stock videos because I love penny stocks. I recommend nobody buy them, but the fact is nobody watched my penny stock videos, so it's kind of like a lot of work for. Yeah, 10x was up today, also like 10%. All my penny stocks were up today, but they're all down like 5,000%. So doesn't really problem. Yeah, I got 99 problems and a turd ain't one. There you go, Oprah. But yes, you have many, many other problems, like how to spend billions of dollars and buy, up half of Montecito and half of Maui and every other fucking place. 84 of you people are watching. Bunch of losers. Doing great. Went to Buddhist temple yesterday, Lingyin Temple, Westlake, China. My mind was blown. So epic to see that. That's cool, man. Man, why don't I do things? Don't get Princess J going. I love you, sweetheart, if you're out there. But God, we need to travel. I'm just not a big traveler. I'm a big, grumpy, Karen, middle-aged guy. Me in a coach airplane seat. I mean, forget about it. It's like, oh, can I breathe now? Like, just 5 hours of just holding my breath with my lungs compressed by, not, thank God I don't need that seatbelt extender, but I'm just like, it's just like trying to get the tray table down is like, again, I feel like an elephant riding a tricycle when I'm in a coach seat. And do you guys know what first class costs? It costs like 30 tickets. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Who can afford that? Um, I know half of you guys in here who have like 250,000 shares. You not only have private jets, you have first class, your champagne bottle service, you're popping bottles, you're dating models, you're doing it real big. But I'm just a boring suburban middle class douchebag, and I can't afford to fly first class, you turds. So I gotta stuff myself into that coach seat. You ever try to fit a 10-pound sack of shit in a 5-pound bag? It ain't easy, especially for a small 100-pound flight attendant. Bless you too, Mark R. Hope you have a great night, buddy. Who else is here, guys? Of course, Not a Lurker. Want to once again thank Not a Lurker, J Money, and his giant blue wrench for moderating the show. Um, When I will return home, most definitely. Here's a few JLJGX, a few penny losers. They're more for another week. God, I mean, you basically, guys, 9 out of 10 penny stocks, or maybe 19 out of 20, you're going to lose your money. So you can't be surprised when these things drop. Like, but the thing is, it's timing. You're gonna get runs. It's like 10x last time went from like 15 cents, I think, to 64 cents, and I sold a ton of it. So I'm playing with house money now, guys. That's how you have to look at these pennies. JAGX, I'm just absolutely dead. I'm down like 70% on the stock. I know there are a lot of people who are down like 99% if you own the stock for some time. I mean, that stock, the shares are worth 8 cents. And if you go back just, I think, like 8 years, and you count all the reverse splits and all the dilution, the shares would have been worth like $1.7 million each. So they've gone from $1.7 million down to 8 cents. Um, wow. Wow. That will just wake you up. Kick you right in both testicles just as hard as you can. If I was in a plane with Danny Deals, I would eat shrooms and scream. Hoper's Wet Cave, you are a live wire, my friend. Well, I'm not a big traveler either, but you should do it. Yeah, I mean, I can do it. I'm not like huge. I mean, I'm just a big guy. I'm not just a chunky monkey. I'm like a real broad, big guy. So but I make it work. Like it's not the end of the world. You squinch in there, and they throw a few peanuts at you and a couple of iced teas, and before you know it, your bladder's about to explode, and you're landing in Florida, and then you're miserable because of the humidity, and you guys can tell I love to travel. Bowflex said last week they didn't see themselves staying afloat. Is that pretty much a definite flag to transfer shares? Um, I don't know. I have a Bowflex at home. It's rusting. It's in my driveway, and Princess J would like me to get rid of it. So that's about all I can tell you. You just described my life exactly. What's up, Mr. Deals? How you doing, Benjamin Murphy? I like Charlie Murphy. Fuck your couch. Oh my God! So that stuff's so funny. Those Charlie Murphy skits on the Chappelle Show. Rick James. Oh, it's so funny. Prince and the New Power Generation. Are you a con? I am not a contractor, Benjamin Murphy. I develop different things, student housing, condo conversions, but I'm not. I'm an investor. I'm a flipper. I'm a buyer. I'm not a contractor. I'm just a speculator. I'm a turd. I'm a gambler. Love all the happiness, health, and wealth. Thank you, Mark. Hope you have a great one, buddy. Appreciate the good vibes, man. I know sometimes you're down on the stock. It's easy to be bitter, but it's a better man. It's a bigger man who can take these things in stride, put them in perspective, especially if you're dumb enough to buy penny stocks. You really have to expect to take paper losses and wait out because these things move like incredibly. A lot of people think, JAGX, for instance, if they get that FDA approval for the cancer indication, people think the stock will minimum like 100x right away. Now, does that ever really happen? No, but sometimes stocks will 10x right away, even maybe 20x. 100x, I've certainly never got a gain like that, but this is one of those stocks that the drug could be really huge. It's just been a fiscal nightmare, incredible level of mismanagement. Anyway, guys, Friday night edition, some initial run. Very happy. Yeah, I'm not in that stock, but I noticed that move. Jesus. So there was another stock I saw the upside. It was like, and I had been in the stock, and I got out of it. Was it VTVT? And then it pumped huge, and I was like, I would have sold there. And I had time, and I was like, but I don't own it. Because I'm a big turd and I time things wrong. That was pretty funny, I know, right? Mark R. Mullen investment million at $4 a share. 77. Yeah. Again, that's pretty bad, but imagine going from 1.7 million to 8 cents. I mean, it sounds like a joke, but that's actually what happened. 2020 position have been buying low, small percentage of the portfolio, but all the same. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's it is what it is, guys. Stocks go down. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be embarrassed. I was talking to my buddy Tanner recently, and we were, it's like I don't know why people lie. Like, these penny stocks, I'm way down. I'm down 10x. Like I said, I'm playing with house money. I'm basically even because I got a big hit on that one. But a couple of the ones I'm in tons of penny stocks. I don't talk about that many. Like JAGX, like I said, I'm down like 70%. UBX, I'm just down a little bit because I average down hard. That's a great company, good fiscal management. GMDA, I'm not down very much because, again, I average. What I do with these is I start small and I wait till they fall out, the bottom falls out, and then I'll add a little bit, and then I wait till like the huge drop. And then I'll add a lot, and then it'll do another huge drop and kick me in both testicles. But I guess I like that because I keep doing it. But anyway, guys, Savage of Wall Street, did somebody say hooker in a wheelchair? Oh my God. I don't know. I'm missing half of this conversation. Nice little community here. Yeah, Benjamin, we are the turd army, sir. We are a bunch of lowly turds, but we do what we can, sir. I showed the kids and wife, told them I'm famous. Kids, wife, Mrs. Lurker, he's absolutely famous. He's not almost famous, like that, Goldie Hawn's daughter and that stupid kid in that Rolling Stone movie. He's all the way famous. I mean, he's like the Andy Richter of Un Poco Moss. Doesn't get any bigger than that. Not a lurker. I think if you didn't have your head shaved, if you had like a blonde bouffant, you might look slightly like Andy Richter. Let me stroke my beard while I ponder that. Um, let's see, guys. Yeah, trust me, youngins in the not a lurker J Money household. Your dad is a very, very important man. He's keeping a bunch of insane people in line. It's not easy. That's why he has the big purple wrench. Um, let's see, guys. What else are we talking about here? Sorry, I have some notes I want to go over too. I know if you guys have something else better to do, it is Friday night, so if you don't have anything better than this to do, you need to really reflect on what path led you here. Feeling good about the Galileo news. I'm feeling great about it. Oprah's Wet Cave. It's moist. I get them both laughed. I'll say, bye, Tanner. Yeah, they were trying to get you on there, J Money. They were trying to get you on there big time. But yeah, that's all you can do, man. It was funny. No biggie, man. Who cares? Gives a fuck. Um, as Howard Stern used to say, who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck? Anyway, guys, sorry, this is a not really a for kids program. So if you show your kids the video, don't show them the part where I'm using bad words because it's naughty. It's naughty. I should. Okay, I already read that. Let's see, guys. My only 5x because of crypto. Yeah, I mean, guys, some of the stuff's just really timing and chance, and some of it's just getting lucky. And some of it you actually see, and you might actually make a good call once in a while. Hey, guys, even a broken clock's right. Twice a day, the sun shines on a dog's ass. So this is why we sell covered calls. Yes. Exactly. I mean, but you can get caught too. I mean, the stock goes up and you just have to sell them at a. If you're going to sell options, guys, you have to sell them at a level you don't mind being exercised because while you can play the probabilities, sometimes things happen. Like a lot of people were selling maybe nines and then the stock shot up and maybe you didn't get hurt because the stock only went, you have finite losses basically, but I don't know. I love covered calls. There's no better strategy to basically increasing your profits when you invest in individual stocks. Covered calls is the epitome. Look at these JEPI, QYLD, JEPQ. They're all selling covered calls. They're really good at it, and there's a reason. And there's a reason these funds can pay 8, 9, 10, 12%. And you can do the same thing and add those gains to your portfolio and increase your portfolio size, increase your profits. A lot of people get so frustrated when a stock is moving sideways. Well, if you're selling a lot of covered calls, you absolutely love it because you're just printing money and your stock's not going down, so you're just making really great profits. I mean, depends the frequency you sell them, weekly, monthly. I know a lot of people prefer kind of monthly because it's just too much work, to keep track of them every week. But whatever you do, it'll help you get stupid rich, or if you do it wrong, it'll just help you get stupid. Yeah, Mark, I know, I know, man. I know that's why I say when I'm down 70% on that stock, which I am, I don't have a ton or anything. It's not a ton of money, but you know, yeah, it's incredible. The CEO Lisa, I've never seen anything like. There's this guy Fife who invests in the company. He's like a short long. In my opinion, he's a con artist. Sort of in one of these types who's always being sued and stuff. But I guess everything they're doing is legal or quasi legal or somewhere around the margins or not so illegal that it gets noticed and gets thrown in prison. But Yeah, right. I mean, Oprah's wet cave, that's why we do it. We like the pain. Why do you gamble? Why do you keep going back? Why do the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And that's, penny stock investors. Penny stock idiots are insane. So, I sold a shitload of Unity covered calls before earnings. Whoa, mama, made a few cents. There you go. Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, as long as you sell them at a level you don't mind getting called, you're absolutely fine. And the vast majority of the time, I mean, you can look at they tell you right when you're buying it, like what are the chances that you're going to get called. So you just have to take a risk reward profile you're comfortable with. And what I do, guys, in terms of covered calls, I don't risk all my shares. I stagger them. I'm like, okay, I'll make them go out a little further at a little higher price. You can always roll them. Gives you more flexibility. So I'm not just gonna like take all my shares and sell covered calls against them. Not like a SOFI position. I might sell like 10 or 20% at the most because I have a huge position, guys. I mean, or at least for me, for my portfolio, it's maybe some of you guys have a lot more. I don't know. But that's where I'm at. So just wondering, Drifter, I'm in UBX, MYSC, and IMVZ. Yeah, I mean, UBX is one that is such a great drug. It's senescence. It's all this. I can't really go into it, but UBX 1325 for diabetic macular edema, it could be an absolute wonder drug, and that's a $5 billion annual market already. And by 2030, it's going to grow to, I think $11 billion, and they're in a phase 2B against a standard of care from Regeneron, Eylea. So that stock, and they don't have debt, and they have cash runway through like 2025. Their CEO, I always get his name wrong, Anner Van Golsch. He is a PhD, very, very intelligent guy. They've trimmed a lot of the fat. They lost their medical director, who was also very good, but their drug's developed, and now they just have to get this drug to market to survive as a company. Great cash position. UBX is a really, really good, high quality penny stock. Great, really solid potential, great management, not a lot of debt, not in that, reverse split, bad funding, death spiral. They actually have their house in order, and they've actually bought, changed up some debt, restructured it, and they're really on top of things. So I love UBX. Stock's at about $1.80. God, weird one. It just basically what happened with that stock. Let's see what's going on after hours, you turds. I got to get the hell out of here. I got things to do, places to go, people to see. In any case, all right, that's J Money. In any case, so UBX, like they were in a trial for wet AMD. This thing was, they were looking at it for wet AMD and diabetic macular edema. And they went into a head to head wet AMD trial, and the drug performed actually pretty well. The thing that was odd was the standard of care had this really dramatic increase in efficacy all of a sudden. These were patients that weren't responding to the standard of care, which are HGEF inhibitor blocker, something I forget. I hadn't looked at this in a long, long time. But the wet AMD trial was considered a disaster, and the stock was like cut in half overnight. And it just wasn't. It wasn't that at all. It still has potential for that indication, both alone and especially in combination with something else. So I think that's a good company. But again, guys, sorry, I digress. SoFi stock after hours, not bad, down 5 cents. And guys, a lot of this, I want to get to my notes here. Sorry, guys, I have to turn a little bit sideways on this one. But I talked about Ortex short being behind, killing $9 calls. Also, just swing traders taking profits. That helps the stock not go much above that $9 level, because I think a lot of these swing traders were coming in before earnings. High sevens, probably before that big New Year's dump in the high sixes, low sevens. So when you see 9 in just a month or two, you're sitting, and remember, guys, we went from 750 to 9. That's a 20% profit. That's a really nice profit if you're a swing trader. You don't care if it went from 10 to 12 or 750 to 9. It's the same ratio, the same amount of profit in your pocket, so you're happy. But what else, guys? So this is what I was talking about. The narrative is SoFi's in trouble. SoFi might have everything go wrong. The fact is, SoFi is increasing customers, increasing profits, increasing margins, increasing the diversification in terms of their revenue and profit centers of their business. They're increasing these incredible deals, such as the one with the NBA. They're increasing the scope of their tech company, the gravitas. Galileo was doing small deals, local, mid tier. Now we're talking in a major proof of concept with a top 5 bank. And these banks have massive market caps. I remember when that bullum-headed Gary guy, who didn't know anything about technology, he was talking about it, and he's like, well, Capital One spends billions of dollars, or whatever bank he's talking about, on their tech, and he's talking like that's bad for SoFi or bad for Galileo. Stupid. Hello, McFly. Knock on. That's good. They have these massive budgets. They can save money. They can do better working with Galileo. And some of these banks are going to wake up and realize that they're just burning money and they're not doing well. And they're still bleeding customers like crazy. Maybe they should work with SoFi. So inflation is coming down. That's going to lead to increased demand if these inflation reductions hold. It was the lowest number they've had in like 2 years. So that was a pretty dramatic readout. Sent SoFi up, back down, the whole thing, a little pump and dump. But what else is new, right, guys? Um, the other thing I was going to say, not just swing traders taking profit, Max Payne going up, and even though Max Payne went from 8 to 850, still closed at 9. So option sellers, bears especially, weren't doing that well. Cooling inflation destroys the bear case. Top 5 bank destroys the bear case. If you think about it, what are the biggest components of the bear case? Okay, higher for longer, going to have all these defaults, going to lead to SoFi having to take losses, having to take write-downs, no demand for their loans. Doesn't really hold water, guys. There's still plenty of demand for their loans. They're not doing that bad. Yes, charge-offs and delinquencies are inching up, but they're not at a level that's a threat to SoFi, an existential threat to SoFi as a company. And then when you talk about the top 5 bank, the fact that they're in a major proof of concept, which would be one of the final steps to assigning a top 5 bank, completely destroys the bear case there. They're talking about growth. I mean, signing Citibank would, once they're able to onboard those accounts, even if they only onboarded like half their accounts, it would almost double the amount of accounts and it would be profitable. I mean, they're bringing customers with them, these huge RFPs. These are not like, oh, we have to go in and start at the ground floor with a little local rinky dink community sack of shit bank. No, you're starting with hundreds of millions of members. They just want savings, they want cutting edge. They want digital native. Citibank is one of the worst. Like, guys, I have accounts with Chase. I have accounts with Bank of America. I have accounts with Citibank. I have accounts Farmers and Merchants. I have accounts with so many different banks. Of course, SoFi Bank NA, ticker symbol SOFI. But thank you for watching Un Poco Mas, by the way, the show where we try to give you just a little bit more. I'm Danny Deals for the whole team here. Stock, Karen, Hurricane Lopez, J Money Not a Lurker on the Wheels of Steel. We want to thank you for tuning in on your Friday night. You have many choices when you are tuning in to fly with Big Fat Blowhards on YouTube, but we thank you for choosing this one. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I had on my notes. They're pretty thin. So there's just like the overview I want to give you is that SoFi is absolutely killing it, and the FUD doesn't land. It doesn't scare people when they see institutions piling in because it stabilizes the price at higher and higher levels. And I don't think this stock, unless they really, really fall apart, is ever going to see those $6 levels again. We had the net profit. If they can, follow through and turn that net profit in Q1, they're telling people they can. Things don't fall apart. Student loans, home loans, these things start to pick up, especially if tech really takes off and they actually land this top 5. I realize the revenues and the members won't come over for quite a while, but it's just going to absolutely prove the business model that Noto's been touting for the last 6 years, that he pitched to the board when he envisioned SoFi as a top 10 financial institution, and I think he's going to bring that vision to life. Guys, there's a new sheriff in town. Sheriff Andy Noto. He's patrolling Mayberry. He doesn't even need a gun. He just carries basically adjusted EBITDA in his holster. He's got a little bit of frosted gray. He actually looks like he could have been a stand-in for Andy Griffith in a pinch. Of course, Don Knotts, Barney Fife, one of the absolute greatest, Killer Fife. But anyway, guys, there's a new sheriff in town, shorts, and the game is over. I don't think they can push this thing back down to 6 and cover. I think the shorts are totally screwed, and I think the narrative that they're trying to put forward is falling flat. I don't think anybody's buying this bullshit anymore. I mean, does anybody care that a giant empty-headed bologna sandwich five head came out and reiterated his sell at 4 and made some absolute word salad argument against SoFi's accounting system, which, CLP3 decimated it. Several other analysts absolutely decimated his analysis when they looked at it in depth. It just doesn't hold water. It just doesn't hold water. Fair value accounting, cost-based accounting, they're different systems, but there's a reason that the government lets you use the system. And they picked their accounting system before they ever got into being a lender. So, why do they have a different system? Remember, SoFi completely reinvented their business just a few years ago. Okay, they were not a bank. They were not doing all these personal loans. They were almost just purely in student loans back at the time. And it's not a problem. I mean, it may lead to swings in the values of different things that would come out different in the short or midterm than another accounting system, but over the long term, it all comes out in the wash, and the accounting is going to tell you accurately how SoFi is doing. So again, that is just, it's complete bullshit. And there's absolutely nowhere they're like, well, if they had to change the accounting system right this minute, it would lead to a massive decrease in book. But they doesn't work that way. Not all of that works in a vacuum, because other things would change too. So, and it depends when, and it depends how. So it's made up FUD and bullshit, guys. Let's see who else is here. BZ is here. How you doing, BZ? What's up? I'm streaming you at the firehouse. That's awesome. Oh, you're a fireman too. Cool. I haven't seen Pete in a while. I hope Firehouse Pete's doing okay. Probably working hard, saving lives, dating beautiful young Puerto Rican girls out in NYC, down the Bronx, holding it down. Palantir's down, but still, Palantir had a massive move, Andrew. So, yeah, Mark R., wife, 5-year-old daughter, computer. This is my excitement for a Friday. That's awesome, Mark. Shout out to Mrs. Mark R., Mark R.'s daughter. Hope you guys have a great Friday. Remember, Dad works hard. He invests for you. Treat him right. Treat him right. And Mark R., likewise. I'm sure you guys have a lovely family there. Hope you guys have a great night and a wonderful weekend. To Mark R., Mrs. Mark R., and Mini Mark R. Or Mini Mrs. Mark R., I should say. Let's see. Wait for live, not a lurker. What show, Mark R.? He was on last night, Dude Ass Face, with Tanner and Tevis. Were doing like a thing where they were putting on their viewers and just letting them ask questions and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. I didn't get to see it all. 5 years old? 5 years old? Oh, man. If I let me tell you what you do. You're 5 years old. You buy a few shares of SoFi. Okay. Buy SoFi, buy SoFi, buy SoFi, buy SoFi, buy SoFi, not financial advice, buy SoFi. You guys are old enough to do what you want, but 5-year-old, I can't give financial advice, but I can say buy SoFi, and by the time you're college age, you can go to a private school and, pick any school you want. Start investing now. Grandma gives you that money, Easter Bunny leaves something for you, Tooth Fairy leaves something for you, Santa leaves something for you. Invest in SoFi. That's all you do. Don't go out and buy penny candies. Don't go out and buy yourself a nice new bicycle with a horn and little, flipper flappers in their spokes. Buy you a few shares of SoFi. Have a tea party with them. Sit around and be like, hey, Polly Pretty Pants, it's me, SoFi. Oh, hello, good to meet you, SoFi. I mean, you can make SoFi part of your playtime routine, but if I was 5 years old and I had it all to do over again, just a small, chubby child in the 70s, I would have bought SoFi. I would have got a time machine, bought SoFi, and by now I'd have like $2 trillion. And I would buy a $2 trillion car. No one could catch me. Anyway, guys, almost everybody's down. I'm going to bail out of this turd while I still can. Small position, 93 people. Do not sub and like whatever you do. You're very welcome, Mark R. You got it, brother. Family time's important time. Speaking of that, I got to go home and see my baby. Oh, Pete's in Costa Rica again? Come on, man. She's supposed to be at a firehouse. Like, I think Pete is at such a high position with the, America's bravest, or the fire department is America's bravest, right? And the police, America's finest, I believe. Sorry if I got that wrong, but he's at such a position where he could just tell the guys, hey, I'm going down to the supermarket there to buy some more 3-inch T-bone steaks and ribeyes for our breakfast. I'll be back in about 4 days. And he just goes down to Costa Rica. Time he gets back, he's very tan. He's been surfing. He's, got a new native girlfriend. And then, There's just like, wasn't that a long trip to the supermarket, Captain Pete? He's like, it was just about average. He's like, you're very tan. He's like, I know. Here's some beautiful T-bones, some brajol. He's like, he just basically bribes the other guys with food. Takes his entire shift off. Goes, now I'm casting aspersions at Pete. Bravest, yeah, that's what I thought, Pete. That's awesome, man. Glad you can. You guys are doing it big, man. Let's say not a lurker. Not a lurker and me. We're walking the dogs. We're hanging out. We're fighting traffic on the way home from work. And these guys are in Costa Rica. They're in China, living the good life. Some of us are just grinding, guys. Some of us are just grinders. We're the other guys. Thanks for the comment. You're very welcome, Mark. Thanks for watching, buddy. Cup and handle is interesting. You may see the play out when SoFi hits 20 again. Hey, man, when SoFi hits 20 again, Danny deals above the law. I have FU money. That's awesome, Pete. Yeah, man, that's why you get in on these good union jobs early. There's not very many good union jobs. You get to be fireman, longshoreman. Just not many of them left, guys. But, let's people who work hard have a decent standard of living in retirement. I am personally pretty pro-union. My mom was a school teacher, so that probably influenced it. I went to public schools, so, not really like a liberal person or a conservative person. I'm so tired of all the vitriol in politics right now. It's just get a grip, people. I mean, but I think you should be able, if you work hard your whole life, you're responsible, you really are a productive member of society. You should have a living wage and you should have dignity in retirement. And I personally think unions still have a role. A lot of people are just, kill all unions, kill all. They don't realize, you're talking about our police, you're talking about our fire, you're talking about our teachers, you're talking about a lot of people that do a lot of really hard, critical, important work. So, you know, I don't know. This isn't a show about collective bargaining, so I digress, folks. But what else is new? Lurker, that's a Discord. Uncle B talks about. Yeah, you guys are all kinds of Discords. Pete, thanks, Pete. Really appreciate it, man. Hope you had a good vacation, good rest, and safe travels, my friend. Safe travels. Top 5 bank deal gets announced. Multiple SoFi goes to 20. I don't know. I don't know about just from an announcement. I think when the members start coming over, revenues start coming. I think you have to see it in the ER. I think you're going to have to see it in the ER. I'm Fantab. Even Danny is there, but I need to show him how to use it. Yeah, I've been in there, but I don't know how to use Discord or Reddit or any of that stuff. Celeste. Hey, big shout out to Celeste. Big shout out to Celeste. 5 years old, investing in SoFi. Couldn't be happier for you. I'll tell you what, Celeste, next time we're going to give you a shout out right here in our scrolling board and say, it's not your birthday. You're just 5. You've been 5 for a while. So, but anyway, happy Friday, Celeste. Good on you for watching the show. Jezor, Railroad Union. Yeah, railroads, a lot of things, man. Mike Hill, too busy chat during the day. My dad was a school teacher. Yeah, my dad was a carpenter and, did a lot of different stuff. But, guys, I think you guys who are very vehemently anti all union, I don't know if you want to see this country without a middle class. Just a stark division where there's only very, very rich people and very, very poor people. It's not. I realize there's still small business people and a lot of people that would be in the middle class. I'm not saying it, but it'll have a big impact, guys. It really will. These are people like firemen. They get paid well. They buy trucks. They do things. They stimulate the economy. They send their kids to college. It's good for society to have people making good money. And getting good benefits and getting good retirement, especially if they're very productive, and have a ton of utility for the rest of us citizens. That's the division of labor. But anyway, guys, these political decisions are above my pay grade. So listen, Uncle B, for a while, plotting escape from my day job. Yeah, if you get very proficient at options, and you understand those trades at the level of like a Felix and Friends or a stupid rich guy from Goldman, I forget his name. Henry, invest with Henry. Yeah, he's pretty good. But Uncle Bruce, I'm sure, is the same way. You just print money with options. They're very, very safe. 31 years as his Teamsters. So true. Yeah, man. I mean, I feel for these people that work like dogs their entire life, and then in retirement, they're just completely broke, have no dignity. I mean, Social Security is very, very low. I mean, it's almost impossible to live on, especially in California. SoFi 30, We're going to be in Vegas, Oprah's Big Wet Cave. We're going to burn that place to the fucking ground. Mike Hill, the world isn't ready. It's top of the hour. It's top of the hour. Topper time check. Topper time check brought to you by the greatest person on this little planet we live on, as far as I'm concerned, and that is Princess J. This Topper Time Tech is sponsored by Princess J and her buddy Cutes. It is time to end this live stream according to Princess J. Of course, I've been rambling for quite some time, but guys, I was going to do a Topper Time Check. Topper Time Check is 5:14 p.m., 14 minutes past the top of the hour, 16 minutes from the bottom of the hour. It's about 6 hours and 46 midnight until the witching hour out in the beautiful West Coast. The date is March 1st, 2024, and the time is 5:14 p.m. out here in a beautiful sunny Los Angeles. Guys, hope it's a wonderful day wherever you are. Hopefully you guys all have a I fear you're right, Jazor. I fear you're right, and I don't really want to live in that world. The police is in the chat. What do you mean, Sting? Philippines. Jazor in the Philippines. Yes, we should all bow down and thank Princess J. She is absolutely the greatest. I can attest to that. And I'm the worst. So the fact that she puts up with me in 2020, so union jobs, absolutely, Mark. They I just think again, I don't want to make it like a political collective bargaining show. I'm not a communist or anything, but I really think unions are very, very good for society. If you look at the countries with the highest standards of living, Scandinavia, different places, they're very, very union heavy, and the people there are, have the highest standards of living. They're the happiest, very more peaceful societies, different things like that. So, and I know all countries are different. Not everything that works in some small Scandinavian homogeneous country is going to work in the, great, diverse, vast United States. But it's still worth discussion, guys. It's still worth discussion that, what's important in society. We should all take a look at it. Yeah, Sting is playing the Beach Life Festival, which is in my backyard. So, yeah, Sting's playing Beach Life this year. So that should be pretty cool if you're in Southern California or you feel like just taking a travel down here. Highly recommend the Beach Life Festival down here south of LAX near Los Angeles. 81 people watching. Get a life, guys. I got to go. Scandinavia, here we come. Yeah, when you want to retire, you want to get some medical care, get over to Scandinavia. Guys, the boss has told me to end this live stream, so who am I to argue with the great, lovely, beautiful, wonderful, amazing Princess J? On that note, guys, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank J Money, not a lurker. We'll definitely have him on the show so he can get a chance to redeem himself with that little flame out he had last night with Tanner. But hey, that's okay, man. It's still great to put a face with the name. And once again, thank you, sir. Thank you, Princess J. Thank you, Stock Karen. Thank you to Danny Vegas for filling in the first half of the show before his visor started annoying me. I had to reveal his true identity as Danny Deals. Guys, it's un poco mas, basic bitches. It's a SOFI stock. Of course it's a SOFI stock. What else would it be? Some out.